My name is Katherine Clapner, and today we're going to be making what's called kolache. Kolache is kind of just another name for a sausage kolache. This one is probably version 5.0. I keep playing with the dough and different sausages to try to find the one that I like the most. So what you do now is you have 3/4 of your flour, your sugar, and your yeast in one bowl. And then you have what is your fat, your either butter or shortening, and your milk that's been heated up in its room. Actually a little bit more like lukewarm. So now you're gonna whisk your dry together and you're gonna whisk your wet together. From there you pour your wet ingredients into your dry and you're gonna make a really gooey, wickedly sticky sort of dough. So now one of the things that you're gonna look for is this. See that? See all those bubbles? That's good stuff. Okay, that means the yeast has started to activate, okay, but it hasn't bubbled up over. Yeast has a life. It only has X amount of life. You want to make sure that you use its life all the way from the start to the finish. If you go too far, then it doesn't have anywhere to go in any structure. So now I'm going to transfer this wonderful goodness into a larger bowl because I'm kind of messy. We were working with about 2/3 to 3/4 of the flour. So in theory, this recipe should be taking anywhere between 4 and 6 more cups of flour. And the salt. You never add the salt with the yeast. You always add it with the last batch of flour because the salt will kill the yeast. It slows it down and it helps create the crumb as well. So I'm going to add a little bit of flour. You never add all the flour at one time. Never, 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 because every day is like Groundhog Day. Some of these days it has taken way more flour. Sometimes it's taken just a tiny bit. It could be what's going on in my house, whether I have the heater on and it's dry in here, whether I've got my washing machine or my dishwasher running and I've got humidity. So many things can affect it. So go slow with your flour. Now I know it's going to take a cup. That much I do know. So I'm going to go ahead and spread that around. I'm going to go and get my salt in because I don't want to start adding all the flour and then not add the salt. And I like salt. Okay. Now one of the things I want to point out is that this dough I make a lot looser than most people's. So my kolaches are a lot uglier, but they're a lot more tender. Okay, so again, see, that's already 2 cups and it's going to need at least 2 cups more. The reason why I know that is look at that. It's not even close. So once again, cup at a time. So remember I said you'd need anywhere between 4 and 6. We're now at 3 cups. What's good now is it's starting to not stick to my hands. That greasy as you see the butter. Now is the point of leaving the bowl. So let's transfer it to the table. So see how it's like that? See that? See how it breaks? That means it needs a little bit more flour. And now it's time to start working it. So what I'm doing now, they'll say, some places will say to knead it for 30 minutes. So that's just crazy. I basically knead it till I feel like it doesn't need it anymore. Sorry. You can see it's starting to come together, but it's still pretty weak. So when it's weak, that means when it rises, it's going to split. So see that? I need to strengthen that. So a little bit more flour. So this is dough that's been left in the fridge. Okay, so it is done a proof. You have a choice. You could leave it on the counter and you can let it proof in size there. I put it in the fridge because I like the dough to be really soft. I like when you eat it to just melt in your mouth. But try to not use your hands except for when you have to, because every time you use your hands, you're adding warmth. Every time you're adding warmth, you're melting the butter. So when you melt the butter, then it just makes it a tough dough. So you just roll, you know, be nice. Be nice to the dough. I'm gonna cut the dough, and then I'm gonna cut it into either 4 or 6, okay? And then I'm gonna start basically positioning the sausage, brushing it with the mustard, giving it the squash and the pickle, and then egg washing it and rolling it out. What you wanna always make sure when you do the wash is you just do a little. People always put too much wash on there, and then it goes from being really like adhering to just sliding around all over the place. So you gotta kind of manhandle a little bit more than you think at this point. So you see how I take it, and then I just kind of tuck it in, pull it up and over, and then just form your shape, because it will set again where you want. And then here, don't worry about that. That will actually come together later on. I always give myself an index finger in between. This right here is okay. These right here just gives it some room to grow. I'm just gonna put the towel over it. One of the things to remember when you do the towel is to make sure that it covers it, that you're not leaving any air coming in, because if you leave any air coming in, then you're gonna end up with a crusty. It's gonna get, doesn't matter, it'll get just a little crust on the outside. So then I just put them in the fridge. I kind of find that if I put it on the table, it moves a little bit faster than I want it to, so I let it rest in the cooler, and then you brush it with butter, you let it proof again to room temperature, and then we just put them in the oven for around 15 to 20 minutes. You know, it's funny, when you read about kolaches, one of the things that they say is that if you don't see the golden brown crust and the golden brown bottom, you've done something wrong. And that's butter. That's nothing but butter. This kolache dough recipe is not a pretty recipe, but it will absolutely melt in your mouth. Absolutely. But you do want to let them rest maybe about 10 minutes before you go to break apart, because anytime you take, especially a whiter dough, if you take it out of the oven and you just break it, it's going to be just gummy. So you want to definitely let them at least not be railing hot when you eat them. Warm is good. And that's it.